several months within this institution, and I don't doubt the sincerity of several of our friends on the other side of the aisle, but many of the themes that we see that have been articulated suggest that the sky is falling. And so we're in the midst right now of debating what many of us view as a very draconian budget that we're told if it doesn't get past the need for such austerity measures are designed to prevent the great United States of America from becoming Greece or Spain or perhaps something worse. Sky is falling. We also, on this committee, subcommittee, had a hearing that I believe was entitled the Obama Administration's Regulatory War on the Economy. Very ominous, because the sky apparently is falling, notwithstanding the fact that this administration has created about 6 million private sector jobs. And today, there's a theme advanced by some, again, not questioning the good faith of any member's views, but the theme is that criminals have been unleashed on the American public. And the question that has been posed is this policy or is this politics? Now, I would note parenthetically that I believe in my reading of the 22nd Amendment, Barack Obama is constitutionally prohibited from even running for office again because he was elected and reelected. I'm not sure how politics could even make their way into this discussion from the electoral context. But putting that aside, the issue of whether criminals have recklessly been unleashed on the American public is an interesting one. And I gather about 2,228 people are at issue in terms of the release from detention. Is that correct, Mr. Director?
That is correct, sir.
And that release took place between February 9th and March 1st. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I believe you testified earlier today that there's no evidence, as far as you know, that any single one of those individuals, more than 2,000 who was released, has engaged in criminal activity subsequent to that release. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of. That is correct.
Now, of course, that's not to say that someone may not engage in some form of destructive behavior at some point. These things are very difficult to predict scientifically. I'm certain that your agency and under your leadership, you've attempted to do it to the best of your ability, as prosecutors and judges and people all throughout the American criminal justice system attempt to do. But if I just might for a moment go through some of the releases that took place at the field offices, it's my understanding that about 342 detainees were released from the Phoenix field office. Is that correct?
Yes. Arizona had 1 level 1, 30 level 2s, 91 level 3s, and 122 non-criminals.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with this microphone, but any evidence that a crime wave was unleashed on the people of Phoenix, Arizona?
No, as I said earlier, we only have one level 1 offender on release in Arizona, and that individual is 68 years old and a lawful permanent resident for 44 years.
Okay, and there's no documented evidence that the people of Phoenix, Arizona have been ravaged subsequent to the release of these individuals, is there?
There's no indication of a crime wave. We're obviously going to pay attention to every single case, and as I said, if a case needs to have a different outcome, we'll make that outcome.
Okay, 341 people released from the San Antonio area. Any evidence that a crime wave has taken place subsequent to that release?
Not that I'm aware of. We had no level 1 offenders released in the state of Texas at all.
Okay, San Antonio was number 2. Miami, number 4, 225 folks. Any evidence of a crime wave unleashed on the people of Miami?
So far, we've had no evidence of serious misconduct.
Okay, and lastly, Chicago, I believe, was number 7 on the list. And I would note, interestingly enough, that, and I'd like to ask unanimous consent, Mr. Chair, that an article in the Washington Post dated, "Chicago's murder rate is finally falling. Can that keep up?" That be entered into the record?
Without objection, so ordered.
And this article notes that in January of 2013, prior to the release of these people who, I guess, in the view of some, threaten the well-being of the American public, there were 43 homicides, which is at the high end. February, interestingly enough, saw a huge drop. Only 14 homicides, the lowest monthly total since 1957. Now, I'm not suggesting there's a correlation between that low total and the release of these individuals, but, you know, any evidence that the people of Chicago, number 7 on the list, have been forced to endure a massive crime wave as a result of the release of detainees?
No, sir.
Okay, now,
Time of the gentleman has expired.
thank you.
The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Holding, is recognized for 5 minutes.